Hey, thanks, Ted, for coming back again for video number 3 with more information regarding tax liens. Ted, we have many professional clients that are looking for extra income with a unique investment, and I'm wondering if you have any experience with teaching and guiding professionals.
Well, actually, I 2 or 3 times a year, I speak at a dental conference, different ones in different parts of the United States, and I speak at real estate clubs, so I sometimes meet professionals there. But in this particular case, I was speaking at a dental conference that was in Boston, and a man came up to me, and he was from Fort Lauderdale. He was a dentist, and he said, "Ted, can I do this?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "You know, when you get in Florida, it's very competitive in Florida. Some of the other states are easier." He said, "Well, I think I want to do it in Fort Lauderdale." And I said, "Okay, well, you can do it in Fort Lauderdale." And so sure enough, he told his, he learned how, and then he started telling his clients about it. Well, then his clients wanted to invest with him. And so what's going to come on the screen next is, while I'm talking, you'll see a picture, and this happens to be a condo project, and it's 1 block off the beach. And you can tell, you know, from the color of it, it's 1 block off the beach. It's an orange building or whatever. So it's a nice, clean place. Anyway, he bought this property, and I'm going to let him tell the story. I mean, he made some big, big money. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you know anything about the dental field right now, but it used to be the dentist. It was relatively a nice job. You could work 3 or 4 days a week, make a lot of money. But what's happened with all the new regulations, they have to have lots of girls in the office doing paperwork and whatever. So it's not so profitable. So let's see how he did. This is really quite a story for a dentist in Fort Lauderdale.
We did our due diligence, looked up all what was on the property. There were no liens. There was no mortgage. This was owned by an older couple who passed away.
Wow.
And nobody had paid the taxes, of which the county wanted $5,200 where the bidding started.
So if there was no other bidders there, what might have happened?
If there were no other bidders, if we were the only bidder?
Yeah, if you were the only bidder.
We would have got it for $5,200.
Wow. Well, Dr. Joe, where are we now?
Now we're in the actual apartment that we bought. They just laid the tile. The grout's not even down yet. And we're in the living room. The kitchen is in the background.
And you have it sold now? You have a contract?
And we already sold.
Already sold it.
We got a deposit of $10,000. Probably within 4 weeks we'll be closed.
So you paid $80,000, and what did you sell it for?
For $135,000.
$135,000. So that leaves you about $45,000 or $50,000.
$10,000 in improvements.
Okay. All right.
So that's $45,000.
$45,000. Okay.
Well, there you have it. Look at that guy. He made $45,000, and I tell him, don't do fixer-uppers. So he called a couple of guys and had them do it for it. And they put a little tile down and he made $45,000. Now, that's a lot of root canals, you know. You think about that. He made a bundle. So professionals love this business, but you and I, know, we have to caution them not to get in the fixer-uppers because they need to get somebody to do that for them if they do that kind of business. So there's a good example.
Hey, Ted, this is a question that came up with one of my joint venture partners, and he's out in the Midwest, and his question was, will this work in all states?
It definitely works in all states. People find areas that they like to work in. For example, you're in Pennsylvania, you really want to nail down Pennsylvania because there's going to be way too many is what's going to happen. You have an advantage because New York State is full of these kind of properties, absolutely full of them. I mean, it's not unusual for me to show somebody, and I'll have my assistant put one up on the screen with 300 or 400 properties that are going to get sold for just back taxes. But let me give you a good example of someone doing it from another state. So you can do it in any state that you want to do it. And the state I'm going to pick to show you about is, you know what? Ashley said, maybe show them someone from Canada. So I'm going to show you someone from Canada working online, and they bought a property in Riverside, California. Now, from Canada in the north to Riverside, they did this online, is 2,000 miles. So 2,000 miles away, and the property they bought was a nice home, and this nice home that they purchased was worth over $800,000. That's what the value was. And they bought it and made $100,000 profit. So I'm going to show you that example right now. It's absolutely amazing.
My name is Kelly Osmack, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a Ted Thomas student. I had purchased a lot in Riverside County, or Riverside. I purchased it for $35,000, and after I got my title, I listed it. It was listed for a month, and I got a full cash offer of $55,000 US. After that deal, I went to the Kitsap County in Washington and purchased a 5-acre parcel in Kingston, and I paid $131,000 for that property. It had a 1,300 square foot manufactured home and a barn on the property. Really nice property. I had it listed at $280,000, and I received a full price offer in 4 days.
So there you have it. There's someone from outside the United States buying inside the United States. So if you're here, you don't have any customs to go through. You can do this all online. They have a company called Bid for Assets, and anybody can go look that up on the internet. And they list all the properties on there, and you can actually give them money, goes in an escrow account, and then then you just do all the bidding online, and then you get everything done online. You never even have to go see the property. And we show people how to inspect property when they're 2,000 miles away, using the GIS satellites and using companies that will go out and inspect properties for you before you buy them. So that's possible for anywhere in the United States.
Hey, Ted, I'm concerned a little bit about the risk factors. This all sounds too good to be true.
There's no doubt about it. Everybody has a big concern about that because this has been around for 200 years, and everybody's concerned. I had to do an interview on television, and before I did that interview, they said, wait a minute, nobody's going to believe this. So I hired an attorney, and he's an attorney that many club members know. His name is Robert Sheeman. I'm sure you've met him. Mm-hmm. And so I hired him. He's a best-selling author. And so I hired him. I said, Robert, you stay right where you are. We'll send a video crew, and they're going to interview you about tax liens and tax deeds. So I'm going to play that video for you right now. And here's an attorney telling you this is okay to do, and it's very low risk.
Ted, I have to tell you, when we heard about your system, the producers of this show said this sounds almost too good to be true. And they wanted to get an outside opinion from an attorney. So we contacted real estate expert, attorney, and the author of the New York Times bestseller, How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Welcome now, Robert Sheeman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Lynn, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Now, Robert, Ted Thomas has been telling us about tax certificate investing and how it is a government-backed program and totally legal. And we wanted to verify with an outside legal and real estate expert like yourselves that what Ted is saying is true.
Well, it's not only for real, and it's not only absolutely true, but it's legal and it's statutory. It's not just out there as some investment. This is backed, approved, and written by state governments. This is how the governments collect their tax money when people don't pay their property taxes.
So is it safe to say that this is not a far-fetched get-rich-quick scheme and that tax certificates are a predictable, certain, and secure investment that is government-sponsored and backed up by property tax laws in each state?
That's right. They occur everywhere. Wherever there's a property tax to be collected, they're legal, they work, the returns can be absolutely fantastic, and this is all for real.
Robert, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and sharing your...
Okay, now that was Bob Sheeman. He's an attorney. A lot of club members know him. He does the same thing. He buys low and he sells high. He loves the business, and that's what you guys really need to be doing.
We do. Ted, the investment process doesn't seem too difficult. The question I have for you is, until I met you, I really never even thought about tax lien certificates or tax defaulted options, especially for 10 cents on the dollar. Can you explain this?
Well, here's why you haven't heard about it. First of all, the attorneys know about it. The brokers know about it because they have to learn about it when they go to school. And what happens is they can't make any commissions on this. So actually the bankers know about it. And what happens is, in order for a broker to make money, they have to sell you a property or sell you a stock, one or the other. Okay, in order for an attorney to make money, has to call you in to help you out. So they can't make any commissions, so they don't tell you about this. But everything that we have talked about today is 200 years old, and the government doesn't do a good job of advertising. So let me just turn around for a second, and I'm going to take this very few people know. Now, this is just a small county, and this is their auction list. And if I didn't tell you to go find it from the county, you would never know to get that auction list. But look at the thousands of properties that have been. These are all tax lien certificates. There's thousands of these. Now, across the United States, and we can show people on the website, we have all this, there's over 5,000 auctions. 5,000 auctions, and yet you never hear about it. So most people hear about short sales, they hear about foreclosures, but they don't hear about the tax auction. Now, in Pennsylvania, they have tax auctions in every single county in Pennsylvania, and they actually have 3 different auctions. Now, we won't go into that now, but in a classroom environment, we can show people 3 different. One of those auctions, if you go to it, the mortgage doesn't disappear. But if you go to the second one, they'll mortgage it. So now you're buying properties without a mortgage. How good is that?
That sounds pretty awesome. You know, Ted, the banks, they're still paying 1 to 2% in today's market. You know, and with the rates that you're talking about, can you tell us about the types of interest rates that we can earn?
Sure. Okay. Now, what happens is half of the states sell tax certificates. Tax certificate is nothing more than a piece of paper like that. That's all it is. And someone didn't pay their tax, so you'll find out about it by these auction lists that I talked about. But we're going to show you how to do it online too. All right, so once you know, so you can go, you can't see it in this, but I can just go, there's a little number, and that's a property ID number. And so every number, you can buy it by the number. You can buy those certificates. So in Florida, a certificate pays from 0 all the way up to 18%. So, all right, and if you go to a place like New Jersey, all the way up to 18%. Now, people in New Jersey, they bid them way down. Yeah, let me tell you the secret. They bid them down because if the people don't pay the tax, they're going to get the property. So those people that are bidding it down are praying that the people don't pay. And then they'll get the property for that. They'll get the property for just that back tax amount. So that's it. All right, now a place like Iowa, they pay 24% in Iowa. Think about that, 24%. Unbelievable. Texas pays 25%. So there's a lot of different states pay different amounts. And we have all that listed in material, so you can just look it up, or we can show them how to do it online. Happy to do that.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Hey, Ted, thanks for taking time out today and just sharing a little more info. I'm really excited about our last and final video coming out, video number 4. So stay tuned and look forward to seeing you on video number 4. Guys, check your inbox.